ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकाय चक्षुरोन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणी निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पश्चात्देशतारिणी वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण। So today is a auspicious day. Once again, today is the disappearance day of Srila Jiva Goswami and also disappearance day of Srila Jagadish Pandit. And Srila Prabhupada says that the Vaishnava philosophy is the greatest of all philosophies, and Jiva Goswami is the greatest philosopher. And even in a comparative study perspective also, we can understand like Mahabharata is having 100,000 verses, and Jiva Goswami has composed more than 400,000 verses. And in honor of Jiva Goswami, like this Banaras Hindu University, they have created a special department for him. Now, he's such a prolific and profound scholar. Like he is the, of course, the nephew of the illustrious Rupert Sanatan Goswami, or the son of Anupam. And when Mahaprabhu was traveling from Puri to Vrindavan, right, he had a detour to Ramkeli to give darshan to Rupa and Sanatan. And at that time, Jiva Goswami was only 2 years old. Jiva Goswami also accompanied his uncles, and then he had the good fortune of associating with Mahaprabhu. Though he was just 2 years old, he was completely captivated by the beautiful, merciful form of Lord Gauranga. And after that, he could not forget the impression that he had. And always he was remembering Gauranga Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu. So in the dreams also, he was thinking, Gauranga Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, and sometimes they would transform themselves into Krishna Balram. And then once, they told him that, okay, now you proceed for Vrindavan to be with your uncles. Before that, he went and met Srivas Thakur, and then Nityananda Prabhu, he himself was there at that time, right, to accompany him for the first Navadip Mandal Parikrama. So they went to Sachimata's house and Vishnu Priya, and they really, of course, they were really emaciated with the separation of Mahaprabhu, but seeing Nityananda Prabhu and Jiva Goswami, they were really ecstatic. And can you really imagine, doing parikrama with Nityananda Prabhu, where he was showing different places where they had different pastimes and so on. And then after being blessed by Nityananda Prabhu, he went to Varanasi. He spent some time in Varanasi and studying under this Madhusudan Vachaspati, who is none other than brother of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, the greatest scholar at that time. He studied under him, and then he proceeded to Vrindavan. And though he's such a, once again, accomplished by that time scholar, right, learning so many languages and so on, right, but at that time when he went, what he was doing, he was so humble, just collecting the palm leaves for his uncles to write. He was collecting the water from Yamuna, right, for to take bath of the Rupa and Sanatan. He was really serving menially, right? So unless, right, like he says that unless we serve merely the Vaishnavas, we cannot serve the Lord, we cannot approach the Lord. But we cannot, right, approach the holy name also directly unless we have humble mood of serving the Vaishnavas. And Jiva Goswami very beautifully writes, Bhakta Kripa, Bhagavat Kripa, Bhakta Kripanugamini, and Bhakta Kripa, Bhagavat Kripanugamini. So the blessings of the Lord are made available through the grace of the Guru. And the blessing of Guru comes down, right, from the Lord. So, like these two are very inseparable, right? If the Lord shows His mercy, and then we should think that yes, I shall get the mercy of Guru. And if the spiritual mercy, when He is merciful, when He is pleased, then the Lord's blessings becomes available, right? So yasya prasada bhagavat prasada, like how important the role of spiritual master, right, in our life, this role of Guru Sampradaya in our life. So unless we please our gurus, right, like Siksha Guru, Diksha Guru, all Guru Parampara, Param Gurus, right, we cannot approach the Supreme Lord. Only by their causeless mercy, uh, the Lord will reveal. Because once again, Jiva Goswami says that absolute truth is inconceivable, right? How our insignificant, tiny, finite soul can understand. If we understand the Supreme Lord, the absolute truth, then we become greater than the Supreme Lord. So we cannot understand, right? Just a jiva can really approach the Supreme Lord only through a bhakta, only through the elevated, right, pure spiritual master, through the devotees. So it's very important for us, right, to take shelter, right, following the footsteps of Jiva Goswami. How, though he was such an accomplished scholar, but he knew that only by the mercy of, right, his uncles, like first he approached Sanatan Goswami, and then Sanatan Goswami, no, you approach Rupa Goswami. And then he served many early, and then a couple of times even Rupa Goswami really chastised him, to go away from Vrindavan, right? Of course, he was serving, menially, right? But because of some apparent fault of Jiva, right, right, he was expelled from Vrindavan, but Sanatan Goswami brought him back once again, right? And then of course he was staying in our the hub of our spiritual universe, of this universe is called Radha Damodar temple, right, where Rupa Goswami had carved this Radha Damodar deity, and he had given to Jiva Goswami to worship this, right? And that is the hub, because all the Goswamis, they used to come together to hear, right? So once again we hear that how, right, it's also important for all the devotees to come together and chant together, to hear together, uh, because that will really please the Lord, right? And how even he, how his illustrious Siksha disciples were, like Narottam Das Thakur, Shyamananda Pandit, Srinivasa Acharya. So though they had different Diksha Gurus, right, but they had taken complete shelter of also Jiva Goswami to study the different literature, the Satsandharvas and so on. And how gloriously, right, he propagated the movement, so that the Janava Mata, the consort of Nityananda Prabhu, he asked Jiva Goswami, please send these three disciples so that they can really preach in Odisha, Bengal, and Bihar at that time, right? How he really gave the seed of this preaching, right, after Mahaprabhu left. And then once he sent with all the books and all these three illustrious Siksha disciples, then they started really flooding Sarinam Sankirtan, right, everywhere in these areas, right? So what is the mood, like the mood of Jiva Goswami? We sing then, Vrindavaneshwari Radha, Krishna Vrindavaneshwara, Jivane Nidhane Nityam, like how Radha Krishna Gautama, like like apart from Radha and Krishna, there is no other shelter for me. Yes, the Queen of Vrindavan or the Brajmandal is Radha Rani, and the King is Krishna, and like yes, they are everything for me. So and that should be our mood while chanting the holy name of the Lord. Oh Lord saves, or Radha and Krishna. Apart from you, we don't have anything. I don't have any other treasure. Whatever I have is just so temporary, flickering things, and I can approach you only through my spiritual master. So let's take shelter of our Guru Parampara so that we can be soured with the choicest blessing, so that we can have a taste of the holy name, and pray to Jiva Goswami so that we can understand the philosophy, whatever he has given, to increase our love of Godhead. Hare Krishna. Let's chant Siksastakam. Cheto darpana marjanam bhavamahadavagni nirvapanam Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadhu Jivanam Anandam Buddhivardhanam Pratipadam Purnamrita Swadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Parama Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Bahudha Nija Sarva Shakti Tatrarpita Niyamita Smaranena Kala Tadrisi Tava Kripa Bhagavan Mamapi Durdevam Idrusham Iha Janinanuragah Trunadapi Sunicena Taroriva Sahishnana Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sada Hari Nadhanam Najanam Nasundarim Kavitamba Jagadesha Kamaye Mama Janmani Janmanishware Bhavatad Bhakti Rahituki Tvai Einandatanuja Kinkaram Patitamam Vishame Bhavambudho Kripaya Tava Pada Pankaja Sitadhuli Sadrusham Vichintaya Nayanam Galadashrudharaya Badanam Gadgadruddhaya Giram Pulake Nichitam Bapu Kada Tava Nam Grahane Bhavishyati Yugaitam Nimeshena Chakshusha Prabhrusaitam Shunaitam Jagat Sarvam Govinda Virahenam Aslisya Vapadaratam Pinastumam Adarshanan Marmahatam Karotu Va Yatha Tatha Va Vidadhatu Lampato Mat Prananathastu Saivana Paraha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Now Sankirtan ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai.